Let's go through a few of these examples from the 3.7 to 3.8 quiz review. It says identify the holes, vertical asymptotes, x-intercepts, and horizontal and slant asymptotes. Then sketch the graph. Well, we know that to start with these questions, we need to factor. So it looks like we can factor out 2 out of the denominator. And then factoring it further, we have x plus 3, x minus 2. So we always start off by factoring the numerator and denominator. And then we go through kind of our list of things. We have holes, x-intercepts, which are our zeros, vertical asymptotes. We either have a slant or a horizontal asymptote. And then we often find the y-intercept or other helpful points. So holes, there's no holes there because nothing cancels. So there's none. X-intercepts, there's actually no x-intercepts because x-intercepts are values that make the numerator equal 0. There's none of them. Vertical asymptotes are values that make the denominator equal 0. So that's x equals negative 3 and 2. Let's go ahead and plot those. Vertical asymptote at negative 3 and at 2. Slant or horizontal asymptotes, well, the degree of the numerator is 0, and the degree of the denominator is 2. And so the numerator is less than, which means that was kind of the first thing that we talked about. That's when the horizontal asymptote is just y equals 0. And then the y-intercept, that we plug 0 in for x, which looking at our original function, it would be putting a 0 in here gives us 0 plus 0 minus 12. So the y-intercept would be negative 1/12. So the horizontal asymptote is here on the x-axis. Zoom in, we have a y-intercept at negative 1/12. So really close to 0. And now we need to graph this. Well, there are no x-intercepts, so the fact that we have this y-intercept here means this part of the graph, so remember the asymptotes split it up into different sections, so in this case we have 3 sections. The section we can work with first is the second because we have the y-intercept here. This doesn't cross the x-axis at all, so this portion of the graph needs to look like this. And we know from asymptotes, these are both odd degree. So degree 1, which means if the graph goes down on one side of the asymptote, it must go up on the other. So since it's down here, it needs to be up on this side. Again, it doesn't cross the x-axis. And same idea on the other side. This has to be up. And so there's a sketch of our graph. If we wanted some more accurate points, we could choose points and plug them in. So that's number